There are three main ways to add references to an EndNote library. The first is by adding them manually. This means collecting the bibliographic information for the source you want to reference and manually typing it into EndNote. It's common to use this method when you need to cite a source that can't be downloaded, such as a physical book, a website, or a government document. The second method is to download a citation. This is most commonly used for ebooks and academic articles. Most databases, library search, and platforms like Google Scholar will allow you to download a citation directly into EndNote. That means you don't have to worry about finding the bibliographic information and typing it in yourself. It all gets automatically imported into EndNote. Finally, you can add references by directly importing the full-text PDF documents into EndNote. EndNote attempts to create a citation based on the metadata embedded in the document. However, this doesn't always work. If there is no metadata available, EndNote will not be able to create a reference, and you will have to edit the details manually. To add a manual reference, go to the Reference menu and select New Reference. You don't need to fill in every field. As long as we have the four key components of a reference, who, what, when, and where, we have enough to create a reference. First, select the source type. This is vital because the structure of a reference for a book is different from that of a journal article or a website. If you have selected the wrong source here, EndNote will create the wrong reference. Type in the bibliographic information for the book. Save it by using Ctrl+S or Command+S on a Mac and close the window. The reference will appear in the center panel. Over in this side panel, we can see an example of how our reference will appear. This is the best way to check if your references are showing correctly. We can also change the style here and see the way the reference changes format. We can also edit our reference in this panel by clicking the Edit tab if we do notice something has gone wrong. We're going to have a look at downloading a citation from Library Search, as it's a little different, and then we'll look at downloading one from a database. You can download one citation at a time by clicking on the meatball menu at the end of the entry. But we're wanting to download a few references at a time by clicking the tick boxes here. Once we've made our selection, we're going to scroll back up to the top and click this meatball menu here. You would think that we would want to select the EndNote option, but Library Search is a little tricky. Actually, what we want is this RIS option. Now this is the important part to remember, as different databases will display the EndNote export in different ways. Sometimes it will say export or download. Sometimes it will say EndNote and sometimes not. But what we always want to look for is this RIS option. RIS is the file type used by EndNote, so always select that option no matter what. Then it will ask us for the encoding. We won't have to do this in any other databases. This is unique to Library Search. We want UTF-8, the first option. Then click Download. The file will appear in our downloads and open in EndNote. All of our references have appeared in our library. We can now edit them the same as our manual references if we need to, and we can take this opportunity to check if the details are correct. To download references from another database, such as Scopus, simply select the references, then click Export and select RIS. You will then be asked what data you would like to have included in your export. The default is fine. Click Export, open the citations into EndNote as before. To import using PDFs, just go to File, Import. On a PC, it will ask you if you want to import a file or folder. You can do either. Here, I'm just going to select my folder of PDFs, and EndNote is going to work through those PDFs and create references for them. Now you can see here that some of them have not ended up with references. That means that EndNote wasn't able to find the data for those, so you will have to manually add the data. But of that whole folder, only 2 didn't work, so that's pretty good going. And those are the 3 main ways to add citations into EndNote.